And yeah, so I hope you're out doing something fun. Maybe you're in your house, just relaxing and not doing as many fun things. I'm also live streaming here on YouTube, which is super fun. I'm excited. Bill Mahoney, greetings and blessings. Um, and so yesterday we had a live stream, and people were really appreciative of having the opportunity to spend time together and to discuss things that were hopefully uplifting, and also things that maybe were concerning for people. And so then it was like people wanted to talk about things, share ideas, and whatnot. And so I wanted to check in with everyone today and see how it was going. Yesterday, so a few people asked, well, are these going to be regular, like Mary chat, Mary conversation? So I don't know how regular they'll be, but I did recently start a YouTube channel, the Unenlightened Stepmom. And so I do plan on live streaming from there. I'm live streaming from YouTube as well as Facebook right now, and just keep that platform going. Hi, Erin Lind. Oh my goodness, long time no see, my friend. And so I wanted to check in with everyone today, and I hope that everyone is doing well, having their families at home. If you don't have children at home, I hope that you're doing well with being at home. I, for one, have felt super busy the past few days. It feels like it hasn't slowed down at all. And friends are yoga teachers and other types of teachers. And right now we are all like busy learning the virtual realm of putting our teaching, our content online. And I think that most teachers would tell you that teaching online it's not ideal, not just for yoga teachers, but for many different teachers. And so it's been really fun. It's been a learning curve. And also it's been so wonderful to see how nice it actually is to be holding these classes online, because I was a little skeptical, and I felt a little like, eh, it won't be like really teaching yoga. I don't know what it will be like, but it won't be like that. And it's been really fun. We've been using the Zoom platform, which has its pros and its cons. So I know a lot of people are using Zoom right now. And if you're one of those people, yes, Bill, it's always great to be with you. Such a blessing that you exist. And so for those using Zoom, I think the pros, I love the conference style. I really like in my classes giving people the option to turn their cameras on. So if any of you guys are watching and you're planning on coming to my live stream classes, know that's an option. So you might set your camera up and your mat up in a way that you can be seen by the camera. And that's been really fun, so that I can see everyone in the class. And it's amazing how much I can see even through the screen and someone else's camera. And that I think is the biggest pro of Zoom. I think it's really great for the virtual studios, those that are, or even people doing this. I love that they have a waiting room, so everyone can just kind of come into the waiting room while you're still setting it up. And especially if you're a studio and you're taking attendance, if you will, then it works really well. You have everyone in the waiting room, and then you can admit them in. So that's definitely a perk to the Zoom platform. It's not so good for music. For the musicians out there, trying to do live music and yoga, if it's a restorative class and I want to be able to play my harmonium or crystal singing bowls, I'm not finding that the Zoom is ideal, at least in the spaces that I've been in. So whether it's the size of this room here, which is pretty small, or whether it's my, even the studio, which is larger, to have the camera close enough to teach a class. And then, excuse me, I have something in my throat. I haven't been able to find the right distance. Maybe I'll be able to find it. Anyway, so if you're a musician or a yoga teacher that likes to play the harmonium, I don't recommend the Zoom app for that. Or some of my friends maybe have nicer computers than me with better mics. I've been using my iPad a lot, and I maybe compare, and then I have an AirBook. that what they're called? There's the MacBook, and then there's the Air. Is it just called the Air or the Air Book? Either way, the mics on those maybe pick up, if it's a nicer computer, maybe they can pick up your instruments. But for me, playing the harmonium, playing the crystal singing bowls on those apps are not working. So to all of you yoga teachers out there that are thinking of doing that, you might want to, you really want to test it first. And then that way it works better. So it'll be, you'll see. I hope my experience helps you get through it more quickly, but I would definitely troubleshoot your 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 instruments if you're using them in a class. So yeah. Hi Tara, don't compare. Which one? Don't compare. Oh, having the live music, you mean? It doesn't compare? Yeah, it's not good. Or do you mean don't compare the the platforms, the streaming platforms? You can let me know. But if you mean that it doesn't compare playing the music on these platforms, absolutely. It's not even close. It's not even close. But a lot of us use that sound healing for our offering. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But otherwise, how's everybody doing? I hope everyone is doing really well and that you're hanging in there. I asked our daughter earlier, what if we live stream, what should we live stream about? And she was like, don't compare to others. I'm not following, Tara, yourself. Oh, okay. You mean the computers? I must have missed the part with the comparing. I meant if people were using certain devices, the microphones might pick up sound better. That's what nothing else though. Yeah, I try not to compare myself to others ever. But thank you for the reminder. It's good. But at the time, I think you're referencing when I was comparing devices and their microphones for picking up music. If you're a teacher that's live streaming, so just be aware of that. Double check that, troubleshoot that. And so I asked our daughter earlier, if we live stream, what should we talk about? And she said hawks and wolves. But I don't actually know a lot about hawks and wolves. I wish I knew a little bit more about it. But it's really interesting to me. She's been in this phase where she always wants to discuss what we're going to be in our next lives. So it's like in our next life, will we be these type of animals? Will we be together? And I think it's such a really sweet way to see how families and especially children are really concerned about the longevity of their relationship. So it's like they want to know they get to be with you forever and literally forever, perhaps in the next life. And it's a really fascinating thing to think about, especially since we know that so many things in life are temporary, especially our physical form. And so I'm curious as to, as we evolve into adults, how we shift from that place of wanting everything to last so long to things being super temporary, where it's like a moment in time and it doesn't last. But when you're young, you really want things to last. You want your relationships to last. You want, hi, Danielle. Oh. You want your relationships to last. You want your friendships to last. You want even the things that you love, like the toys that you have, perhaps. I see this with children. They want those things. Sometimes I feel like they want meal times to last. For anyone that's got the tiny people at home, it's like meal times really last a long time. I'm not sure why. Children like to draw out the meal times. Maybe it's that we're all sitting down in one place. I mean, it's so easy to get frustrated in those moments where you're like, okay, can you eat your food? Can you eat that food? Here, you know what? I'm just going to put it on the spoon for you. I'm just going to literally put it in your mouth. It's so nice to take time and just like see that they're enjoying being together. and that they're enjoying just spending time together and actually having a space where everyone is sitting down, not moving around. Even if you're in the same room, oftentimes we're doing different things. And it's so great when there's a time where we're all just sitting down. And yes, we're eating, but we're also spending time together, which is really sweet. And it's such a nice reminder from children. And I have to remind myself at meal times not to want to rush. Or even for me, it's like after a while, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to get up and wash dishes and kind of move on to the next thing. And to have that encouragement to just like stay, sit there and stay. Before I moved to the beach, I was living in New Orleans, and their meal times are just so luxurious, especially if you're at a gathering or if you're at a restaurant. They just take such a long time, and you really indulge in every moment of the meal. Nothing is rushed through. You never feel rushed by the people that are serving you. It's very like luxurious, I guess is the way that I could say it. And then I noticed that a lot of times at home, I'm always rushing through the meals. They're almost like a burden, the time it takes to cook it. And you got to sit down, and all I'm thinking about is like cleaning the kitchen and moving on to the next thing. And so when I'm eating with our daughter, I get that really nice reminder of like, no, take time, like indulge in these moments, indulge in sitting, indulge in enjoying the nourishing food that you've prepared, enjoy being next to your family without having some type of um, task at hand, whether it's a fun task like playing a game or whether it's a task like cleaning the dishes. It's like eating doesn't have to be a task. We're sitting down with our families and we're enjoying that time. So I'm always reminded of those little things. And it's such a gift to be able to make time in your life, meaning like indulge in the moments that would seemingly be mundane. What if we just stayed a moment longer and asked ourselves, why am I trying to get out of this moment so quickly? Like, what is it that I want to move on to? Why can't I just stay right here and enjoy it for another, I don't know. If you're eating with a child, it could be, like 45 more minutes. Those things can really last, meal times with your little bebés. So I know a lot of you are at home and you're spending time at home, homeschooling your kids. And I hope that you're able to, in those moments where you want them to be over or you want to move on to the next thing, you allow there to be that space for them to just fill. It's not like the time or whatever time isn't passing, but it's like you can allow that moment to be really full. There's like a word in yoga that's often translated to mean perfect. I'm not sure what the original form is. Purnat. I know Purnat, and there's the Purnam, and it means like perfect, but also full, in the like whole. Complete, like bursting. Nothing else could fit into it. It's so full. And so I think of that. It's like, it's not that the moments are going slower or faster. And a lot of times we say that. It's like, oh, time is going by so fast. And the way that life is moving is not going necessarily fast or slow, but it's more sometimes the moments are full like that, where nothing else could fit, and they just feel longer. And I always know this, like the times in my life where I'm really taking care of myself and indulging in the small things, like taking the longer meals, sitting with the people that I'm having a meal with, and just not waiting or wanting for it to be over, whether I'm not enjoying it or whether I'm trying to move on to the next thing. Just really sitting and letting the moment be. But every part of my life, every aspect of my life, when I just allow those, when I indulge in each mundane thing. And I've had times in my life where I indulged in things that were exciting or extravagant. And it's not nearly as fulfilling as when you indulge in each seemingly mundane moment. Then the moments have that fullness or that pornot, the kind of, they're just like fat. I had a teacher once, Lady Ruth, she said fat with grace. Like the moment is just so full of grace. And when you're able to live like that, it's just so sweet. So I think about that as we're in this moment right now. Either some of us are inundated with a new way of daily lifestyle. The kids are home all day. Both parents are home. Whatever else you've got going on, and that can feel a little chaotic. Or whether you're someone like many of my yoga teacher friends or other teacher friends that are suddenly like burst into this learning this new technology, having to change method of teaching or syllabi or whatever's going on to get online content going. So either way, life might feel a little chaotic, a little hectic right now. And if we can be reminded to just in the simple moments of your day, whether it's brushing your teeth or having a meal or getting into your car or petting your cat or chatting with your family, can those moments become a little more full with grace, fat with grace? Can each of those moments just be bursting with grace and love and gratitude? And hopefully that will give us that sense of spaciousness that we're looking for throughout our day. For those of you that are yoga practitioners, especially asana practitioners, I'm going to reference that part of the practice. That's a big part of what we study. And I know I've felt that so much in my studies with Iyengar yoga, is this idea of maximum extension and being able to spread your awareness to every part of your being. And when you do it's like that bursting at the seams. It's like the part of my awareness, the part of my intelligence, the part of my consciousness that could become not bursting, maybe kind of dull. Suddenly when I'm just extending, when I'm reaching out all the way versus just kind of chilling, when I really extend, something in me feels that fullness. And then the moment itself becomes a little more full. And if you do that for a whole entire asana practice, of the physical postures of yoga, say 75 minutes or 90 minutes even, by the end of that, you feel the spaciousness. That's got to be one of the reasons that it feels so good after a yoga class, is you finish your yoga practice and you have that sense of spaciousness. The moment of putting your shoes on after class, it has a fullness. You're not necessarily rushing through it, though sometimes it happens. We're trying to get to the next thing. I've done it so many times after yoga where you're just sitting and like you love the people that are around you, whether or not you know them really well. You're just like indulging in the moment. Everyone feels good. And even the act of like tying your shoes and putting your jacket on becomes these really full moments that give a sense of spaciousness to our lives and our days. And so I feel like that's one of the benefits of the yoga practice. And so then the more we practice yoga, that feeling of fullness, that fat with grace that can come into each moment, it lasts more moments. So it might be the first 5 minutes after the yoga class in the beginning. And then it goes to an hour and then 2 hours. And then you notice, oh, well, when I practice yoga, I'm good for the whole next day. And I think eventually we could even go above, like, if I have to go a week, I'm going to be fine. Maybe I'll do something to reawaken my intelligence and spread it through the body. But otherwise, if it doesn't happen, it's still going to be okay. And so it's such a blessing. It's such a good gift for our practices to know that we're building a sense of spaciousness and that sense of grace that comes in each moment. I'm grateful for my yoga practice, and I know a lot of people have been home talking about, you know, that they're grateful for their yoga practice, what they've learned, whether or not they're able to practice at home right now because their lives might be too busy with the kids. But I think that people are feeling their gratitude for that. So if you're into yoga and you're feeling gratitude because we're kind of cooped up right now, I totally understand. I get that. I feel the gratitude as well. And I'm happy we even have the opportunity to get together virtually. I feel like right now is such a good time. We're so excited to have this technology where we can like reach out to one another and be together and have classes together and have gatherings together, watch our favorite musicians together, concerts online. It's like we get to feel that sense of connectivity, which is super sweet. I was talking about that all day in my classes that are virtually live streaming through long wave yoga. That um, it we have to get connected, and connectivity is what helps us to feel ease and helps us to get in those places that I was talking about that are spacious. And disconnection causes rigidness, and it causes even distortion, and it can cause a lot of friction. And so we have to get into the spaces where we feel really connected, and I'm into that. Whether it's my yoga practice or whether it's prayer or whether it's connecting with people virtually or talking with parents, whatever gets you connected is going to help us to build those spacious moments, to fill each tiny moment of our day with a sense of grace and fulfillment. And so I'm so glad that I have those types of practices. I want to hear from you. What type of practices do you have that help you to fill your moment? Whatever, even if it only happens once a day, like, can you fill a moment with just absolute fullness, filling that tiny blip of time all the way to the perimeters of what a moment could be? What kind of things get you jazzed up? Also, this is streaming live on Facebook right now. The video will be on YouTube. It's also streaming live from YouTube. And if you want to come to my YouTube channel, The Unenlightened Stepmom, and leave me some comments about what type of content that you'd like to see up, I would love to hear from you. Or if you just want to say hey, drop a line and say hey. But it's really good to connect with you guys just for a short moment today. Let me know what you want to hear, and I will try to connect with you again soon. So have a good one, everyone. Blessings. And we will see you guys at another time. Bye.